Want to welcome everybody tonight to our Juice Plus conference call to talk a little bit about a great new software application we have found that's really changing the game. And my name's Curt Beavers, and I am from Atlanta, Georgia. And with me on the line tonight, we have Eric Johnson. And Eric is out in Southern California. I think you're a little ways away from the fires out there, aren't you, Eric?
Yeah, we're not too close this time.
Yeah. I know we are about to have our conference in Sacramento in the spring, and the actual resort we're staying in burned 4 or 5 years ago, and the fires are right there again.
Mm-hmm.
So we're just in thought for a lot of people that are out there. But appreciate you joining us from the West Coast. He's a little earlier than we are here on the East Coast. But let me just tell you why we decided to do this call tonight. As many of you know, I have been with this company for 31 years, and it has totally blessed our socks off. And my wife and I started this business when we were 23 years old. And, you know, we've used a lot of tools, and things have actually evolved a lot since we got started in this business. I remember when we got started, there were some key things you had to have. You had to have one of those big, huge binders that was your day timer or planner. I remember my first big expense. I did a lease purchase on an $1,800 Fujitsu fax machine. It was one of the first things I bought when we got started in this business. And I remember trying to get names and leads and some referrals from my mom. And because she joined us later, she wasn't in the business yet, but she had one of those old Rolodex things, the spinny things on her desk where she kept all of her phone numbers. And it was even before identity theft. She had social security numbers, credit card numbers, just sitting right there on the little spinny wheel on her desk. And so we've evolved. And I mean, I've gone through that evolution process too. I'm a high-tech guy. I love gadgets. I've had every iPhone known to man. I've gone through all the evolution. And, you know, from the first thing I got, I think was a Palm Pilot and then a BlackBerry. And I still couldn't go digital. You know, I was still struggling with paper. And finally, the iPad was the first thing that really allowed me to go really paperless and started scanning things. And, you know, all these tools are around us. And it's kind of like having a power saw. You've got that electric skill saw, and you're sitting there trying to use it like the old saw, but you realize you got to plug it in. You got to get that power to the saw to make it work for you. And I think we've found some tools over the last few years that have really changed the game in our business. We've got the millennial generation emerging, and they have an expectation of technology being part of the deal. You know, I've got a friend who wrote a book, and he says, we're dealing with the first generation that's never not had Google. You know, they've grown up and they've had somebody to answer every question they had because they've always had Google in their life. And he calls it the IY generation, the I for internet. And so we've added Voxer, which has become a communication tool. We've added Zoom, which we're using right now, which kind of is a telephone call 2.0, which lets us see each other. But there's software out there. And we have got somebody amazing on the phone with us tonight, because what I really love and have learned to love about Eric is he wasn't just this nerd that went in his basement and programmed something to become a new tool. He was actually doing what we do. He was out there and was searching for a solution. And Eric founded a company called Teamzy. Some of you probably are already using that software. Some of you probably looked at it and thought about it, and maybe you haven't made a decision to dive in yet. But I just wanted Eric, first of all, Eric, can you just tell the people on the phone a little bit about yourself? I know a little bit. I know you're a family guy, man of integrity, and I just love partnering with people like that. But can you share us a little bit about your background and how all this came about?
Sure thing. First of all, thanks for having me on the call. I'm excited to be here with everybody. Well, basically, my background is business coaching and consulting, about 15 years in that industry, helping people build their business. And my focus has been how to do it based on relationships. So that's kind of the philosophy I come from, which is helping people build relationship-based businesses, kind of the opposite of the find them, fleece them, and forget them traditional sales model, but how to really deepen relationships and create a business that sustains itself, you know, through those relationships. I fell into the software game by accident. I'm actually no good at technical stuff. I couldn't write a single I couldn't write my name in code, to be honest with you. But like you, I love tech. I love gadgets. I love finding ways to make us more efficient. And for me, my first iPhone really blew my mind because for the first time, here was software I enjoyed using instead of hated using.
Mm-hmm.
Now my background has been in the real estate industry. That's where I focus on helping people, coaching them in their business. In that industry, the CRM game, by the way, Teamzy is a type of software called CRM. That's a customer relationship management software. You don't need to even know that, everybody, but that's kind of the modern version of a Rolodex. CRM software has billion-dollar players in real estate. And yet everyone in that industry hates using the software. And, but it's essential. It's an essential way to build your business. So I looked at it and thought, why can't we just make something easy, something that is fun to use and throws everything off the airplane that doesn't make it fly? In other words, really, as a business coach, I knew what people needed to do. They needed to stay in contact with their current customers, their prospects, and in our case, their team. And they needed to be in regular contact, and they needed to do it strategically. And if we could throw everything else out and keep it so simple that it would work. So in my former life, I built a real simple CRM for real estate. People loved it. I fell into network marketing by accident. I found some products that really helped me, and I was sharing them just as a customer. I didn't even realize at the time that the company had a network distributorship possibility. And once I did figure that out, I realized it was a pretty nice opportunity. And so the first thing I thought was, wow, okay, I need a tool to help me do this. And I only have an hour a day to build this business. I'm a busy guy. I'm sure a lot of people on the call can relate to that. And so I went looking for what I figured must exist. I knew in every industry that there was all kinds of robust products. I really didn't find anything though for our industry. And the few things that were there were kind of like what I'd seen in other industries: overcomplicated, clunky,
right,
impossible for someone like me to use, to be frank with you. And they didn't understand the most important thing, which was that all the software needs to do is make it easier for me to connect with people.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how the journey happened. And I said to some really smart guys that know how to code this stuff, I said, there's a huge opportunity here. 30 million or so people working in this business, they have no tools. It's like people are trying to dig gold mines with their bare fingers.
Yeah.
So, we built it. The rest is history.
Well, Eric, one of the things that's really interesting to me is I'm kind of I don't know how to code or do any of that, but I'm a technical junkie. So I've tried just about all the CRMs. I've tried Salesforce, Infusionsoft, Act, what's that, Pipeworks or something, ProsperWorks. We've tried all of them. We have MailChimp for our email system. Mm-hmm. And there are a lot of things out there. But I think, if I was a person listening on the call tonight, one of the last things you want to do is just keep adding more and more technology, because you spend 20 here, 30 there, and it doesn't seem like a lot. Then you add all this stuff up and it becomes enormous. But Teamzy seems to really kind of fit a niche there. And from a network marketing person, can you kind of just talk a little bit about when you wake up and you want to go to a place to kind of run your business? How does Teamzy serve kind of as a dashboard for accountability, for, a lot of different, it's not just a CRM. That's just the beginning of it, I think.
Right. In fact, we've started just describing it as it, and it includes your CRM.
Yeah.
Basically, the way people run this business is they have to have a list of contacts, right? And a lot of people have pads of paper and sticky notes and boxes and just random spreadsheets that aren't kept updated, or a lot of times they find themselves flailing around in an unorganized way, trying to figure out how to get their list together. That's step one. The second thing is the people who have been really good at this business are people who have figured out a system to get themselves to do power hours, to really get focused, to look at their list and say, here, this is my goal. I'm going to connect with this many people today. I'm going to do these reach outs. But the problem that I found over those 15 years of coaching people was that it took so much planning to do this power hour, right? I mean, typically to do a really great power hour, you needed to spend about 3 hours planning it.
Yeah.
So what we did as consultants is we said, well, what you should do is get an assistant to organize all this for you so that you can come in and just crush it. And for years, that was our model. We said, hey, just get an assistant, just suck it up and hire somebody, get them to do this. then I thought, well, why don't we just build a digital assistant to do this for them automatically? See, so the main thing that Teamzy does that really makes it exceptional, one, it keeps your focus on what you need to get done, which is connecting with your prospects, your team, your customers, and your team. But what it does is that you put your list in once and kind of give it some priority. You rank it, you rank people on a star system, 5-star system on who's your hottest or who's your best relationships. Then you forget it. Teamzy just fires it up every morning and says, here's who you need to connect with today. No thinking. Next person, who's up next on your list? Today you need to reach out to Curt. What's cool about it is you can tell the system how much you want to earn in the next 12 months. And it will tell you how many people today, this is how many people are up next for today based on the goal you set. So it really takes the thinking and planning out, whether somebody that is really trying to build a massive business or somebody that has, just a little few minutes a day to work on their business on the side. Either way, it gets that focus down and it lets the people who are, maybe an hour a day people like I was, have the same level of focus that a major team leader would have.
I like to think of it in our business. People join for a lot of different reasons. Some people join maybe just to get the product for free or get the best price. Some are going to join to make a little bit of part-time money. But then you've got others that really do want to make a career change. They've got big financial goals. And can Teamzy scale for somebody that has small goals versus somebody that has big goals?
Absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the things I love about the system is it's perfect to put new people into right away. I think that when people come on, okay, so I'll just tell my story. I came on as a customer to get the discount. Okay. Yep. And I was already using the product. So I figured, oh, that makes sense. And I was also referring people to it because a good customer always tells people about what they're using, right? And so I was recommending these products, but not getting paid. So I signed up. Okay, great. My goal was to make $500 a month extra money. I wasn't trying to light the world on fire.
Yeah.
I found that with applying this system, that was really easy. I found I could do that in like 30 minutes a day. And that's when I started getting kind of excited about the possibilities of building something bigger. I definitely think the way we've structured Teamzy is you could try it for free for 30 days. We don't ask for anything, credit card or anything, because I truly believe, even if it's your first day in the business, if you can put 30 to 45 minutes a day into your Teamzy 5 days a week for that 30 days, you'll have no problem paying for it for a full year in that first 30 days. So that's the goal, is to create the momentum for people, even people who don't have much time and aren't planning on doing something big, but to create that kind of momentum where they could get to that, $300 to $500 extra money situation very quickly. That makes sense.
Yeah. When I first set up my Teamzy account, and I'll admit I'm still a novice at using it. I'm building the habit of getting in it every day. But one of the things I like, you can import your Facebook contacts. You've even got great videos that explain how we can download our data from our back end, our virtual office. Y'all got that set up now. But can you talk a little bit about, and this is one of the things I'm learning more about, you've got it set up where not only can John Doe, who signs up and he wants to make $500 a month, not only can he put his goals in there, and Teamzy's going to give him, okay, make this many contacts per day, customers, business, follow up. But you've also got it set up so if I sponsor John Doe, I can see what he's doing and hold him accountable. Isn't there a part of the system that provides accountability like that?
Yeah, there is. We created this team report so that leaders can basically, your team can opt in to share their daily statistics with you. This is a really powerful tool. Again, as somebody who has been a paid business coach for most of my grown-up life, the first thing that you require is to be able to see people's activities, right? Because if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. And so we wanted to build this in because our business is built on the same model. It's leaders coaching their team, right? And on and on. So basically what this does, if you think about it, I mean, I did a video where there's 10 different ways to leverage this report. At the very basic, a leader can see whether people are working or not. But I think it's an amazing tool because let's say, for example, you've got a new person coming on board, or maybe you're in a situation like now where there's people on this call, they're discovering Teamzy for the first time, and maybe they're going to take a group of their team through a 30-day trial together. This is a chance where you can say, who wants accountability? Who wants support and coaching from me this month? Right? And people put their hand up and go, great. You need to get in Teamzy and you need to connect up to my team report so I can see what you're doing. And based on what kind of energy you put in this month will determine what kind of energy you get from me as a leader.
Yep.
So this is your chance to run with me and be personally mentored by me. It's really powerful because you can get people in there, and there's these little icons, like, you know, they get flames. They get a flame if they crush their goals. They get a double flame if they really crush their goals. And then they get these little snoozing emoticons if they didn't do anything today. And so, you know, it's a great opportunity for a leader to go, you know, I'd like to see you change the snooze to a flame this week, or, you know, just to encourage people. But if somebody volunteers to get that encouragement, it's really powerful when they do. And then the other thing that I love to do is on a team call, go down the team report and celebrate everybody who's rocking, you know, and you can see specifically how many people they're reaching out to, how many they're following up with, who they've invited to see the business, et cetera.
You know, I really believe, guys, that we've been searching for the right tool. And, you know, and I'm going to be honest right here in front of Eric. Teamzy is not necessarily the magic bullet. It's you partnering with something that's going to hold you accountable to the high pay activities that are going to build your paycheck. So by itself, Teamzy doesn't work, and you by yourself without a system, you don't work. And it's the two things kind of coming together. And, you know, one of the most exciting announcements that we've had is our companies, you know, many of you may have heard that we're spending about $30 million on our IT infrastructure upgrade. And, you know, we needed a piece like this as part of our growth curve to have something daily we could log into. And, you know, one of the things I love to do every day is I like to get to inbox zero. I don't know if anybody else, your email overloads you, but I feel like this big victory's happened when I can go to bed at night and my inbox is empty. I sleep better. You feel like there's nothing on your plate. And what Teamzy is going to do for you is, you know, every day you're not going to get 10 new customers. Every day you're not going to get 3 new recruits. But by doing the activities that create those results, you know you've done the right things to have a successful day. Right. And, you know, when you can hit that 100%, you know, trigger where you've done everything you need to do. We had a girl that started, like, I think 3 weeks ago, right after conference on Teamzy, and she's hitting her goals every day. And I'm literally at the City Winery in Atlanta, Georgia, in a private room. We just did an event for 35 millennials here, and we just finished, and somebody said, your call's in 3 minutes, you got to go. So, but this girl was in there. She had like lots of guests in the room, and it was because she had been working and filling her pipeline, and Teamzy helped her do that. She's sharp, but Teamzy got her organized and got her going, and she's now got 3 team members on Teamzy, and she's multiplying. So I don't want you to think that there's this magic bullet that if you sign up for Teamzy, all of a sudden your business is going to just blow up overnight. You've got to partner with Teamzy to make it happen. And, you know, Eric, what's the key to somebody maybe getting in? I know they've got to go to a website, you know, they've got to do something. Is it tied into your email with alerts and those kind of things? Or what are some triggers that can get people in the habit of like using a new tool like this?
That's a great question. You know, it's like anything else. If you did, you know, if we all exercised every single day, we'd be in great physical condition, right? So yeah, it's about getting consistent. So first off, you know, Teamzy is easy to get started with. You go to teamzy.com, get yourself a free trial. All you need is an email address. So don't worry about that. You guys can do that. Any of you guys can do that anytime. Get started on that. The best way to do it, I think, is to find an accountability partner for the first 30 days. I mean, maybe forever, but I mean, at least for the first 30 days, get somebody and say, because, you know, accountability partners, sometimes you want to change. So it's good to try them out for a little bit.
Yep.
But, you know, grab somebody from the team, sideline, downline, whatever, somebody who's excited to try it with you and say, hey, would you be my accountability partner for a month? Hold each other accountable to doing it together, because we are wired to do more for others than ourselves. Period, right? I mean, why are so many people so good at managing their boss's money at work, but not their own? Or why do we do such a great job of keeping our work area clean, but our house is messy, right? We will do things for others that we won't do for ourselves. So if you have an accountability partner, what I always say you do is you take a little screenshot each day of your finished, you know, you get this little scoreboard on your Teamzy dashboard that you've done your goals for the day. Take that screenshot and send it to your success partner. I will tell you, this works amazing, because what happens is you get busy and you're a normal human being in the world, right? And it's about, you know, you've been busy, you took care of your kids, you got your kids in bed, and you think you're done, and then all of a sudden, bloop, you get this text from your success partner that they just crushed their Teamzy goals. Man, I don't feel like doing anything tonight, but I know for 20 minutes, I can finish mine and send it back. And you'll be amazed how just that little push will get you to do so much more than you would do on your own. And then what happens is you'll start sending me messages. I get them all day long, which is like, I can't believe it. I just had my best month ever. And to your point, Curt, it's not that Teamzy's, the reason. It's just that it's given them a tool and a system to allow them to leverage what they already naturally have in a consistent manner, so they get great results.
Yeah. So I'm really, really excited about this, and I want to close tonight telling them how they can sign up. But there's one question that's kind of looms over everybody today in the world of, identity theft and privacy and internet security. Mm-hmm. Can you just, give everybody some peace that when they start putting their names and importing their data in there, that Teamzy's going to handle that with tender care and protect their privacy? Because I know I had that question asked.
That's a great question, and it's very valid. And honestly, for those of you guys who are software engineers, I don't know all the correct terminology. I just know that we've got all the certifications and the security that we need to have. But what you need to know is that your data is yours. It's not Teamzy's. We do not have a license to use that data in any way. If we did, we'd be out of business. If we violated that trust, we wouldn't have a business. We certainly wouldn't be endorsed by Juice Plus, that's for sure. And, and you just need to know that we have been vetted by the compliance department of a dozen or more of the biggest networks. And we've been put through the ringer, honestly, which is good. It's good for everybody, right? We've been put through the ringer by these lawyers, asking that, each time making the system stronger and more and safer for you guys. So if you're really curious about all the specifics, you can go to teamzy.com/security and you can see everything that's there for you. But the biggest thing you guys need to know is that your data that you're putting in Teamzy, just like your data that you put in Gmail or anything else, it's yours, okay? And we're never going to use that data for anything. So
that's important, because there's not commingling of data. I mean, there are lots of companies that use Teamzy, and Juice Plus is partnered with Teamzy, so you don't have to worry about your data being used for other purposes. And that's it's a shame we have to talk about those things, but in today's world, you have to be careful. So we want to close with this and just thank Eric for his time. But Eric has said he would do a training call for us. We got the holidays coming, so Eric and I can get a date on the calendar after the holidays. But we want to give you guys some time to get your account set up on a free trial, kind of familiarize yourself. Even maybe you might know some questions you want to ask if we have time for some Q&A at the end of that training. But we'll go into more detail, and maybe Eric can share his screen and just show us some pointers and some things. But Janet Black and Meredith, our Vice President of Marketing and our Vice President of Sales, they had a great conversation with Eric prior to our conference in Tampa. And I signed up for Teamzy, and it was $30 a month, $29.95 a month. And thought it was well worth it. But the company saw how many people were benefiting from this tool and really went to Eric, and they've come to a partnership together. And Teamzy, even after your free trial, it's only $19.95 a month. So, right. Eric, what do they need to do to get that special pricing? And maybe you can tell some of the folks that maybe are already using Teamzy that chose Juice Plus as their company, how is that going to affect them? How do they get retroactively back into that price?
Okay, great. Well, first off, when you get your free trial, make sure you select the Juice Plus version of Teamzy. There's about 60 versions. So when you go in and choose your company, make sure you get Juice Plus. So you'll be in the version that is custom fit for Juice Plus. It's going to be like you moved in and the furniture's been arranged by you. Okay. Once you're in there, after your free trial, you'll automatically be given the Juice Plus only rate, which is, I think it's a third off, basically the regular rate. So it's much less than even $1 a day to have Teamzy setting up your power off for you daily. For everyone that's already in Teamzy, that's on Juice Plus, we already switched you. So this month, when you bill, it'll be at $19.95. Okay, we automatically did that. So some of you have already seen that difference happen. For those of you who pre-purchased a year in advance, because you can save a couple months tuition that way. What we did for those of you who prepaid a year in advance at the old rate is we added an extra 6 months complimentary to that term. Okay.
Wow.
So you'll
Great.
end up with 18 months, which actually comes out a little bit more than you would have got if you had been on the new rate. And then when you renew, you'll have a chance to renew at the discounted rate for the year or the month, whichever you choose. So yeah, we just wanted to make sure that we took care of everybody who had already given us their trust, and it was an investment. You know, it was a big investment in you guys to do that, but also, you know, an investment from Juice Plus Corporate to invest and sponsor basically this special rate for everybody. So we're really excited to work with you. I know we're talking right now with Meredith about setting up some training, some national trainings, so that we can get you guys in there and help you. The biggest thing I want people to know, though, if you are tech averse like me, in other words, I love technology. I just struggle using it sometimes. So if you're like me, you know, and you're like, I want to make this work, but I can't figure it out. I want you to know we have an amazing team to help you through it. If you talk to the people that you know in Juice Plus that are using Teamzy, some of them you'll probably be amazed that they could use this because they're not technical. But we will walk you through the setup process. The setup process is as easy as possible, but that's the worst part. It's like, you know, I just moved into a new home this week and I'm unpacking. It's, you know, I'm excited about the new home, but packing and moving and unpacking is overwhelming. But once I'm done unpacking, I get to live here. And that's what it's going to be like for you with Teamzy. So for those of you who are a little intimidated, don't be. You can get help from our team. Curt mentioned we've got great videos on there to help you too, for those of you who like to just go in and self-serve. But if you need us to walk you through it, put your hand up and we'd be happy to help you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I will tell you that the experience of launching and getting oriented, they've done an amazing job with the videos. I mean, even to the detail of explaining how to use your virtual office to get the import data. So thanks for all your hard work, Eric. And I want to leave you with the thought of, go ahead and try the free trial, download it, and invest some time on the front end to get it set up right. Do watch the videos. Don't skip them. It's worth that little bit of extra time to do it right so that you can enjoy the tool. If not, you're going to be going back and tinkering with it, making adjustments, which you can do, but it's worth it to walk through that process in a thoughtful manner. So, Eric, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Go to teamzy.com, sign up for your free trial, and I will let each of you know once Eric and I get a date. You'll have about 10 days over the holidays. You can tinker around with it and get it set up, and then we'll do a training call, and it sounds like there's going to be more great training coming down the road. So, Eric, thank you. Thank you for being a new friend in my life, and we appreciate you doing this for us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. God bless you.
All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.